So, just a little trigger warning for this episode. We are going to be talking about pregnancy, miscarriage, birth stories, all of that stuff. So, if any of that might be a little sensitive for you, maybe don't listen to this one. We'll have another one out next week, or you can listen to our first 3. Oh, wait, first 4. This is our 5th. Wow, that's crazy.
We're really putting our Budussies into this.
We are. But just a little warning
Trigger
for you
warning
guys.
for sure.
Yes.
Welcome on in.
Welcome back to the canceled. I keep saying I'm just manifesting, don't worry.
I say that in my head almost every time.
I'm like, what's our podcast called again? Because that's the only one that matters to me.
I'm about to literally cry.
Ooh, okay. Welcome back to the What Are the Chances podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Hannah. All right, so today we are talking about being a mom. I am a mother. Bitch, I'm a mother.
No drama.
No drama.
I'm going to be asking her questions related to during your pregnancy, your birth, after pregnancy.
I have no idea what she's about to
parenting.
ask me.
Yes, she has no idea. I came up with this at work.
I'm actually so excited because I feel like I feel like I can talk about it now. I'm 11 months. No, I'm not even 11 months. I'm 10 months postpartum.
wow.
Griffin's 10 months old. So
crazy.
I'm a little seasoned. I mean, I got 10 months under
got
my
your
belt.
toes dipped
I
in
got
the
my
water a
toes
little.
dipped in.
Yeah.
I have a routine now.
No, they're really cute questions, actually.
I'm excited.
Also, speaking of my hoodie,
What's that?
what is it? I could cry, but I can't for 24 hours. Little ironic lash lift hoodie, since we can't do them anymore.
Yeah.
But we can do merch on them. Comes out this Sunday, 4/21. Get yours. Right. I know your passcode. No, they're actually really cute questions. I'm excited to hear
I'm excited.
the answers. I know we have some moms out there listening.
Yeah.
So.
The thing about being a mom is I never want to talk about it because I feel people are always like, oh my gosh.
Shut
So
the
like
fuck
this
up.
is my excuse to just talk about it.
I want to hear about it. So,
Well, you did watch my video.
what video?
My pregnancy video.
Oh, you mean you're giving birth?
My birth video,
I'm
yes.
like, did you make a heartfelt
No,
photo montage of your pregnancy? I'm like,
No,
what
no, I
pregnancy
meant my
video?
birth, my
Your birth-
delivery.
Yeah, I watched Griffin come out
Of my
the
vagina.
vagina. Yep. All right, so here we go.
Okay.
First question: what was your reaction when you found out you were pregnant? You can add ants for any of this too.
Okay, so I don't know what happened to me. One day, I literally was like, I'm bored, but not in like an I'm bored. I want to do something like chop
Like
my
cut your
hair
hair,
off.
yeah.
It was more of like, I don't know. Did you ever hear like your frontal lobe will develop and you'll be like, I just need
Wait, what
something
age
more.
did you get pregnant?
I think it's supposed to develop at 25, but
I was gonna say, did you get pregnant at 25?
Well, here's the thing. Griffin's my second pregnancy. So I had a miscarriage first, which I'm fine talking about because I think that needs to be like talked about more for every woman. Like
It's true.
it's so common and it needs to be talked about. So I got pregnant the first time when, fuck, I'm so bad with dates. So Griffin was born in May of 2024.
No,
Of 2023. Wait, what?
Yeah, 2024 did not happen yet.
Right.
Yeah, 2023.
Okay, yeah. So Griffin was born May of 23. So I found out I was pregnant with him, I think like August.
Okay, and you're
And I miscarried 2 months before that.
okay.
So I found out I was pregnant when I was
So
26.
you were 26. You were
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So
Or
you-
late 25. 26. I think I was 26. then.
Around.
Yeah.
About.
So
So your
yeah.
frontal lobe just developed.
My
That's what
frontal
I was
lobe had
getting
developed,
at.
yep.
That's what I'm getting at.
And immediately my body was like, I want a baby. But like it was so weird because it wasn't like I was trying, but it wasn't like I was like really trying hard not to. I never really thought of it seriously until I got that positive test
Yeah.
first. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And my initial reaction, I remember I was in my room by myself and Aunt was at work and he had no idea that I was even buying a pregnancy test or that I had suspicions. So the thing about me is I've always been super aware of my body.
Yeah.
I've never been on birth control ever. I've always been very regular.
Yeah.
And like I could just feel, I don't know, my friends say about me all the time, I just could like,
You have
I just
good
knew intuition. Yeah. So for some reason I was like, I feel like I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I would be okay with this. And I was like, I don't know if Aunt would be.
I feel like we're at the age where it would be okay.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like I'm still 16 and pregnant.
I was like, am I going to get in trouble?
No, literally, that's my first thought. I'm like, my dad's going to yell at me when I get pregnant. I'm like, I can't tell him. I'm like, I'm going to get kicked out. I'm going to get in trouble.
No, literally.
I still feel like a child.
Yeah, me too.
I always will.
Me too.
So
yeah, I remember I was on FaceTime with my sister when I took it, and it was positive, and I was just like, I don't even remember. I just remember being like, what the fuck?
did you cry or were you like excited?
I think I was just kind of like confused.
You're like, how's this possible?
Yeah, I was like,
I'm a good girl. How did this happen?
I'm like, damn, the no birth control really caught up, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just remember, I think I cried, but like, I don't think I cried.
It wasn't like, oh fuck, my life is over.
No.
Okay.
It wasn't that at all. It was very much like, okay, my life's about to change.
Yes.
I'm kind of scared, but like, I'm
scared
down.
is so valid.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I'm down. It's fine. And then I got really, and then, so then Aunt came home from work, like, I think I took like the test around like 11 a.m. Okay. So it was a long time before Aunt got home.
Oh my God. I would have been like.
And I was so scared, and I was like, I can't blow it and text him. Like, I have to wait for him to get home. So then I waited for him to get home, and I didn't do anything cute because I was like, I just don't know how he's gonna react.
I feel like when I get pregnant, I'll only do something cute for like my parents or my family. With Todd, I'm literally being like, no, you need to know this immediately. You're sitting down with me. See, you're better than me because I would be like, go buy me a pregnancy test. I'm not even buying it. I'm like, this is your fault.
Because I knew that his emotion, like he would be like, oh fuck, and I was gonna be like, all right, it's
you were a little bit more
ready for it. Yeah. So he got home from work, and I had like hours to marinate in this, and
that's her new word.
That's my new word. Yeah, it's a lure. So I marinated for a few hours. My sister knew, and that was all. Actually, I think I texted Ellie.
Yeah.
I think I texted Ellie was the second person I told, and I texted her because I was supposed to go into work that night.
Oh, you were like, I cannot.
I was supposed to go into work that night, and I guess I don't know if I had an appointment or if me and Ellie were like having a meeting or something.
Yeah.
But I was supposed to be in, and I had asked Ellie to like take care of whatever I had going on.
Yeah.
Because I just took a pregnancy test and it was positive, and Ellie was like, oh my gosh, okay. I remember Ellie being like, are we happy? Are we sad? Like,
are we having a baby?
Yeah, like, can I match these emotions? Like, what are we feeling? And I was like, no, we're good. And then, so then Aunt came home and I sat him down. And I was like, I remember specifically the first thing I said to him was, how much do you love me? And he was like, why?
Like, what'd you do now?
Yeah, he was like, what do you want? Like, where are we going? Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, and I just like showed it to him. I had it like behind my back, and I was just like, oh. And he panicked.
Really?
He panicked. He was like,
valid.
He was just like, no. Like, I just remember him, he kept saying, no, pacing back and forth, like, Hannah, like, what are we going to do? Like, we can't.
I feel like no matter how old you are, it's always going to feel like you're not ready.
And he was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, I don't know, like, whatever. And then he got, like, really excited. And then, because then he was like, well, how are you feeling? And I was like, I don't know. I'm, like, kind of excited.
Yeah.
And then we both cried because we were just like, oh, my gosh. And then I was like, I need to tell my mom.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And then Aunt was like, oh wait, are we gonna get in trouble? Like, are we gonna get in trouble? And I was like, Aunt, what the fuck? And I remember my mom, because we lived in the basement, and my mom came downstairs, and I was like, I had to tell you something. And she was like, what? And Aunt was literally like hiding in our room, like peeking through, like was so scared to see my mom's reaction, because he was like, is she gonna like be mad at me? Yeah. And same thing, I just showed her the pregnancy test. My mom just like had the best reaction ever. And then I started sobbing. And I remember saying to her, like, I'm so scared. Yeah. Like, I'm literally so scared. Like, what am I going to do? And she was like, what do you mean? Like, it'll be fine. And I was like, okay. Yeah. And like, that's all I needed. And then, it kind of did go downhill for a second. I don't even know really the times. I definitely blocked this out of my life. But I remember it like happening. I just remember like going to the bathroom and then being like, that doesn't seem right. And it was a Friday. It was a Friday, and I called my doctor and I said, like, hey, like, this is happening. And they were like, it's completely normal. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I don't think so, but okay. And then she was like, well, we can't see you till Monday. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do in the meantime? And she was like, just let it go. Yeah. And I was like, Okay, so I just literally spent the weekend in pain and just like bleeding everywhere.
So when you had like the miscarriage, what was your experience like did you end up going to the doctors after that?
Yes. So I had an awful experience. I actually switched practices completely after this because they just did not care straight up. And like if you're in that industry, I get that these things happen every single day, but these people were just not.
There was like no emotion.
It was cold. They were cold from the beginning. They just told me they literally made me wait a whole weekend before they would even see me. And then I got in there and they take your levels because you have like a certain percentage of like HCG, I forget what it's called, but it's certain hormone percentage that will rise when you're pregnant. And mine was up. I went to the doctors first before I miscarried. I went and they make sure that you're actually pregnant. They say they're like, yes, you're pregnant.
Yeah.
So I did that appointment prior. So they already had my levels of pregnancy. And then when I called them back and said that I was miscarrying, I went back. They took my levels again and they were like, and it's just blood work. And they're like, all right, we'll get back to you. And I'm like, oh my God. So I was bleeding for like almost a week without knowing if I was actually miscarrying. I knew that I was, but they would keep saying like bleeding is normal. Like it could be normal in the beginning. Like you could not be miscarrying.
Like I'm telling you, this is not normal.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm telling you, like what I'm bleeding out is not normal. Like there's just no way. And I was like also crampy. So, but again, they were like, that's normal. I'm like, oh my God. So then I had to call them like the next day or whenever they told me to.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are my levels? And they were like, oh yeah, we were going to call you. Like your levels are dropping. Yeah, you're miscarrying. And I was like, okay, so what do I do? And they were like, nothing. There's nothing you can do. And I'm like, okay, like, like, am I, like, I can just go to work and stuff? And they were like, yeah. Like, just being so, just so dismissive. And I was like, oh my God. And then that's when I really started going through it. I'm pretty sure that's when we had, like, that was when Ellie, and at this point, it was only Ellie and me. So, like, I just, like, poor Ellie, she was like, I don't know, like, what? There's nothing I can do. And I remember I was bleeding for a while, and I would come into work, and I remember vaguely, like, that situation where, like, it got serious when I was at work, and I had to leave, and, like, Ellie had to, like, literally clean it up, and I blacked that out for sure. Ellie probably can't get it out of her fucking head, but that happened, and Ellie was definitely there for me. She was definitely like, holy shit, this is crazy. Yeah. They made me come back. Like, they were like, all right, you have to wait until, like, you're done bleeding or it's completely done or whatever. And then I had to come back to make sure my levels dropped all the way so that they didn't have to, like, nothing was left behind. Because sometimes, and, like, I had it good. Like, I didn't have to have a surgical, like, a procedure done or anything, because sometimes they'll have to go up and, like, get everything out themselves.
I mean, that's not good.
Yeah, it's not.
Give yourself.
Exactly, but
I like, didn't the doctors are like,
that wasn't too traumatizing. Yeah, they were like, yeah, you're good, you're done. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And my mom actually wound up writing a letter to their office saying, like, this was handled, like, absolutely insane. Like, and it's a really popular office that a lot of people, a lot of my clients say that they go to, and I don't say anything because that's my experience. Doesn't have to be yours, but it's just crazy that it's just so normalized to them, but not to everyone else. Like, no one wants to talk about it, but they will just shove you away. Like it just seemed almost as if once they realized I wasn't going to be delivering with them and they weren't going to be getting that check, they just did not care. They were like, all right, you're done, like, move on.
Yeah, that's awful.
So then once I got pregnant with Griffin, I went to a normal appointment before I was pregnant, and I said, like, I just had a miscarriage, I want to get pregnant again, I just want to get checked, just do an annual exam on me, I just want to make sure I'm good to go, like, good in general. And I was, and then the next time I went back, I was pregnant, and that was fine. I mean, a doctor that, because you see all the doctors, I saw one like halfway through my pregnancy who told me that I was gaining too much weight and then I had to go on a diet. That was crazy, because, like, how are you going to tell a 7-month pregnant lady that she has to go on a diet? And it wasn't that I was gaining too much weight that was affecting my levels or affecting his levels or affecting anything.
You're just literally growing a human.
Yeah. And I asked her that. I was like, well, is it affecting anything? Like, is it actually a serious concern? And she was like, no, I mean, you're just gaining a lot more weight than you can. And I was just like, okay. When it came to circumcising a baby, that was insane. Like, I asked a medical professional some medical advice. I said,
Crazy.
what is the reason of circumcising a baby? I'm not against it. I'm
just
not for
it.
it.
Like,
I
you
just
want to
know.
Yeah.
I don't have,
Yeah,
like, I've never
what's
been in this
the
situation.
medical
What is
reason
it?
behind it?
And she said, one, for them not to get UTIs, for a less chance of them to get a UTI, and that they wouldn't get made fun of in the locker room.
Sick.
And I quote.
So sick. Disgusting.
And I was like, okay,
why
tell
is
me
it
more about the UTIs. Are they more severe
my
than a
God,
woman's
gives me the
UTI?
chills.
She was
why
like,
are you
no.
even thinking that way?
I was just like, what the fuck? Oh my God. That was crazy. And then I go through, having a baby, like giving birth or whatever. And then 6 weeks later, you have your 6-week appointment, checkup. To make sure that your stitches have healed and have fallen out and that you're good to like resume normal life as much as you can. Griffin and Aunt are in the waiting room. Griffin is 6 weeks old. I go in. I'm still bleeding at this point. You bleed up until 6 weeks. I think I stopped bleeding right when I got my period, and I got my period exactly 6 weeks after having Griffin.
Of course.
Yep. So I was sitting there and I'm all like excited because I know that I'm feeling I'm feeling better. Like I can move my body.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm out of that diaper. Like I'm like, where am I at?
Yeah.
And the nurse comes in and she sits on her computer and she was like, is this your first pregnancy? Or I guess she had to say first pregnancy, but I don't know what she said. And I said yes. Because I'm just so excited. Like this is my first baby. Like this is my first.
Yeah.
You're not and she was like, literally with such an attitude. I'm not even dramatizing this for the bit. It was straight up like this. She was like, oh, you didn't have an abortion? And I was like, oh, I miscarried. And I felt like such a fucking idiot because like.
Which you should.
I know, but like.
Why would she just assume that? I
Yeah.
remember you telling me this story and I was so angry
like, why would
when
you
I
just
heard
assume
it.
that? And why would you say that? Not like, oh, you didn't, are you like
make the question more clear.
Like you're
Hello?
a doctor
Like,
or a nurse or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, I miscarried. And like, it just ruined my whole fucking mood because I was just
you're like excited.
Yeah.
And you could have just went in and said, is this your first pregnancy counting miscarriages, abortion, anything like that?
Exactly.
Like, why is it so hard
She was like,
to
oh,
just speak
you didn't
like
have
a
an
normal,
abortion?
be
And I
respectful?
was like, no, not that there's anything wrong with having an abortion, but I miscarried.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm traumatized.
Literally. And I'm 6 weeks postpartum. Like, do you want me to jump off into the fucking 72 right now? Because I will. So yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
Wild experience with medical professionals.
Yeah. So like we talk about this, like we've talked about it all the time.
Oh my God, yeah.
If we're talking about it lightly, it's because we talk about it a lot.
I do not get uncomfortable talking about it. I want people to hear about it.
Which is good because
so many people go
talks
through
about
it. Yeah, and that's something that I struggled with. Like it was always just like a shh. And I was like, no. Like it's so common and like the doctors treated it so like it didn't, like nothing was wrong. Like they were just like, okay, yeah, that happens. Like, why are you so upset? And I was just totally like, what? Normal. So yeah, they told me that I had to just wait it out for the weekend. And on Monday they would call me back. So I remember, and then this was when Ellie was like, oh God, like Hannah, you're like, it was just like not a great time. The thing about a miscarriage is like, it's not just like a one day and done. Like you bleed for so long. Right. So I was bleeding for so long. I remember when I found out, like when it first initially happened, I was in my bathroom and I went pee and I remember seeing it and it was a lot. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that is not normal. Yeah, and then I immediately like ran upstairs to my mom. And I was like, I know this is happening. Like, I just know it. Yeah, and she was like, what? You would know. Yeah. And then that's when I called my doctor, and that's when they said, you can't do anything for a weekend. And I was like, you're just going to leave me here for the weekend? Like, what am I supposed to do? And she was like, nothing. And I was like, okay. And then Monday, I had to, like, go in and take my levels, like, whatever. I knew it was happening because I never stopped bleeding. So it just kept bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. And then I didn't leave my bed for, like, so long. Like, I remember... Like I would go into work. I would come into work though because I just felt so bad. I wish like I could go back in time and like tell myself to like rest, but I felt so guilty for like just like not coming into work and just like not doing certain things. So I just came into work and that's all I did. And I would go home and I would just lay in bed and be like, what the fuck? Like, and then like I just went through all the emotions and then I was pissed off and then I was like upset, obviously. And then I was like, I want to have a baby immediately after this. Like, I don't care, like, what they say. Like, I want a baby immediately. Because now at this point, I'm like... You were excited. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, if I can't have a baby, like, I need to get on it soon. Yeah. So I remember I was in Target. I, like... remember being so many places. My mom made me go to the movies, and I was like in the bathroom bleeding out, like in Target, literally.
I thought you were saying she was taking you like.
She was like, you have to get out of bed.
Yeah.
We were in Target, and I remember I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. I had to be like in a diaper. It was like a full thing. And then I remember saying to my mom, like, I'm getting pregnant immediately after this. And everyone was like, are you sure? Like, no one knows how to treat you or how to act.
Yeah.
Which is obvious, but like, I was just kind of like, no, I am having one. And I Googled it. My Google search is crazy. It was like, you have to wait like 3 times to get, you have to have your period 3 times. Okay. Not that you have to, but they recommend before you get pregnant again. And I was like, nah. Yeah. And I got my period 1 time, and then I was like, we're trying. Yeah. So with Griffin, we were like fully trying. Okay. Like fully trying. Yeah. It took a week.
Exciting though. I hope that I get pregnant at a point where we're trying.
Yeah, it was really exciting. Yeah, no. It was so exciting. It was. I never thought that was gonna happen the first time. Like I never thought that it would be like a situation where I was like, alrighty, let's have a baby. Yeah. So that was cool. I love that though. So yeah, my reaction with Griffin, I was really excited. I remember like me and Aunt bought the pregnancy test the night before, or like the night before I was gonna take it. Cause I was like, all right, if you know. Then I'll do certain days later, whatever. And I remember we went and got a pregnancy test, and then it was a Saturday morning that I took it, and I just like jumped in bed and I was like, it's positive. But then after I was excited that it was positive, I was just so scared. I was so scared my whole pregnancy. Honestly, it affected my whole pregnancy because I just didn't want to get too excited. You
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like anxious the entire time. I didn't take any pregnancy pictures. I didn't take any,
I think it's good to just be private for those first few months anyway, just to like, don't get anyone's hopes up. Don't get anyone in your business. Yeah. Just like,
especially after that, because like people judge you so much. Like, oh, like, and I didn't tell any of my random people about the first pregnancy, but I told my friends and family because I was like, whatever. Like, if something happens, these are the people that I want to.
Like, it's exciting. Like, that's a crazy thing to happen. Yeah.
So then after with Griffin, I was excited, but I was nervous. Long story short, excited, but very fucking nervous. Yeah. Still am. Like, I still just, still nervous. Yeah, I'm still nervous.
All right, next question. What was the worst and the best thing about being pregnant?
Okay. The worst thing for me about being pregnant, I guess would be like everyone's like reaction / judgment / like input, I guess.
Putting their 2 cents
in and like judging. So like I just feel like being a mom is just such a journey that is different for everyone. Yeah. And I just hated, like, it's just so weird because when you're pregnant, everyone is so excited for you at first. Right. But then it becomes very much like, and it's not anyone's fault that this happens, but it's not their life and it's not their baby. So it very much becomes like, they become making it about themselves. Like, how is it going to affect them? Like, negatively or positively. Like, oh, well, this is my whatever. Like, this is my grandchild, nephew, like whatever. And it becomes very much like my. And you're kind of like, no, it is, but like, Yeah. And then it can become very, people just don't really care that much. Like, you're expected to do exactly what you've always done being pregnant, and pregnancy is literally the hardest thing I've ever gone through. So like having to balance my life plus now being pregnant and people still expecting you to keep up with what you used to do.
Everything about you is
changed and your perspective and your mindset and just everything. It's really hard because people just don't really have sympathy when they don't know what you're going through. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's hard to keep up with everything and also literally day by day be turning into a whole different person. Right. And no one knows you as that person. So everyone's expecting something of you that like you can't really keep up with. And I would just feel so like guilty for that and just feel like I'm not doing enough or I'm not being enough or so yeah, people definitely can ruin some things.
I know when I was training with you even every day, like you would get left and right just questions like, are you doing this? What's your birth plan? Oh, I did this. This happened to me. And it's like, I feel like you would almost get like scared because
Yeah.
everyone would just project like what they went through
So many
onto
awful
you
things. Yeah.
and be like, okay, new fear unlocked. I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
even know that was a
seriously.
thing.
And like, especially being in this industry where I was talking to so many different people
There's
a
nothing else to
day.
talk. I mean, the bump is in the elephant
Literally,
in the
the
room.
elephant
Like,
was
there's
in the
nothing
room.
else to talk
Yeah.
about. So like, I get
Yeah.
it, but in the same breath, it's like I feel like there's certain questions and things that are okay to ask,
Yeah.
and like there's certain things that maybe don't put
Yeah.
your 2 cents in.
Yeah,
that
it was just
way.
very overwhelming with everyone's
Yeah,
like, you
I
should
can't
do
even
this. Well, I
imagine.
didn't do this, and are you going to do
Right.
that? That's stupid if you do this. Like,
Yes.
and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what I'm doing. Little do you know, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So this is just stressing me out
Yeah.
as anything. People loved to tell me about their worst experience ever having birth.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
literally the worst birth
time.
experience
All the
ever,
time.
and I would be like,
Well, and it's funny because you always said you didn't want to have a plan. You
No.
didn't want to set any expectations and be disappointed like when those things
Yeah.
didn't happen. So
Yeah.
when people were like, "Oh, what's your plan?" Like
Yeah.
you should have a plan, and you're like, "I don't want one,"
yeah.
and you're like, "You don't want to sound rude," but it's like respectfully.
and I would just be like,
"Let me do my thing."
Yeah, and I would just
Like,
agree with people. I would
yeah,
be like, yeah, I'm
you
gonna do
would.
that.
You took it on the
Oh my god,
chin.
I would just
Oh
be
my
like, yeah, I
gosh.
agree with that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that at all. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so chill about things
yeah.
that I'm just like, I don't like take it there. Like, I can't. So
All the
yeah.
energy.
Yeah, I just didn't have the energy. But what is the best thing about being
Yes.
about pregnancy? I low key hated being pregnant.
I think you're
Some
gonna
people
love your
live
second
for it.
one.
I think I am too, and I think I hated being pregnant a lot because of my miscarriage.
Yeah,
That ruined
that's
it
true.
a lot for me. But I'm gonna do a lot of things different the
And I
second
think
time.
it's different too. Like, who knows what it would have been like if you didn't have a job that you're on your feet all
Exactly.
day. That's like
Exactly.
physically, mentally exhausting. Like, you know, I feel like your circumstances too,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
were a little hard.
Yes.
And you were there till the very,
Yeah,
very end.
I tried my
so-
very best.
Yeah.
But I liked the excitement of it. I liked, like, my favorite thing would be Aunt just being like, oh my God, like, you have my baby. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
that was always
that's
really
so
cute.
sweet.
Like, me and Aunt grew, like, immediately once I told him that, like, I was pregnant, I feel like our relationship went from, like, good to just, like,
Yeah.
there was no even, like, question
It's like a
anymore about
special
anything.
bond,
Yeah,
yeah.
everything that we always used to fight about, all the bullshit that we
Yeah,
went
it
through.
just goes out the window.
It just does not matter anymore. And I think that was my favorite part about being pregnant is like getting to pick out a name with Aunt and like getting to
Yeah.
like pick out like he's gonna look at this and be like, I can't stand you because obviously I let him put his 2 cents in, but like
Yeah.
at the end of the day I was like,
You're like, you heard it here live. Aunt talks in baby voice.
yeah, literally. Yeah, but he would be like, oh, why don't we do this for the nursery? And I'd be like, well, we're gonna do this, but I appreciate that.
Thanks for your input,
Thank you
but
for your input.
this is
Yeah.
my decision.
Yeah, thank you. But that was really fun. Like people started taking you seriously as a couple because I feel like,
Yeah.
like when
Oh
you're
my
not
God,
married, people are
I
always
can't
like,
stand that.
you guys even gonna? I
Yeah.
liked the fact that people were like, especially with me and Aunt's history, like it was just like.
Just solidified
Yeah,
everything.
it just solidified. And like
Yeah.
Aunt always said to me, and I never was someone who was like, I want a baby this time and I want this kind of baby. Like I always knew I wanted kids, but like
Yeah.
I was never that person.
Yeah.
And Aunt would always say to me, like, you're gonna have my baby. Like from like before that was even in the realm of things, Aunt would always like at night just be like hold my belly and rub my belly, and Griffin would always kick
I
at the
love
end, like when he was
that.
really active, he would always like react to
Yeah.
Aunt, and I just thought that was really really
Yeah,
cute, and I
that's
loved
so
having my
sweet.
bump, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I feel like you definitely see your partner in like a
Yeah.
different.
Oh my
like-
God, yeah.
Like I know Todd will be such a good
so
dad.
good.
Like I can't
yeah.
wait for
yeah.
that.
And it's just the way that they treat you when you're pregnant. Like Aunt would literally like massage my feet, lotion
Oh
my,
my
body.
God, no!
Like,
I said I'm gonna be a menace, and
Yeah.
I'm milking.
Wait,
this
you
shit.
know it was so cute. We would like I didn't do any like pictures professionally or anything, but
Yeah.
me and Aunt every single week
Yes, I remember.
would
this.
take Polaroid pictures of my
Yes.
belly, and we had our own
They were
spot,
so
and Aunt would
cute.
take them for me, and that was really cute every week.
I love that.
Yeah, so that was really
So
fun.
cute.
I loved that part about being pregnant.
Okay.
This is so fun.
What was working? Okay, this is a two-parter.
Okay.
So first, what was working like while being pregnant?
Okay. All right. So it was probably the most challenging time of my life.
I don't think I could do what you did.
Yeah, it was hard. It was so much there were so many things happening. I was growing so quickly here.
Yeah.
My book was growing so quickly. I was very, very, very sick in the beginning. I was literally throwing up between appointments. And I mean, like, I was doing lash lifts and throwing up when their lashes were developing. I would be like, oh, I have to grab something out of here.
Yeah.
And I would be in the bathroom throwing up. And at the studio, it was two rooms and a bathroom. Like, I feel like they could always hear me, like, for sure. Like, and it was the product that would trigger me. I would throw up all of the time in the beginning, probably for the first 12 weeks.
That's rough.
Yeah.
You're better than
I was by myself.
I have to go home.
Yeah.
Bye.
And I would be by myself because, sometimes me and Ali would work together.
Yeah,
but, like,
but
it was just
if you're at
basically-
nighttime,
yeah. So yeah, I was just very, very, very sick. So that was very miserable for me. And then I got to the point where I wasn't really sick anymore, but I was starting to show more. So everyone was just bombarding me with questions.
Yeah.
And then I got to the point where you were then born, and I was so relieved to have you there, because truly I just, like, there were times where I just, like, really needed, like, a water or just, like, random
I put her
things.
hair up, I tied her shoes.
Yeah.
I would
'Cause I
pick
was going
stuff
through
up
it.
off the ground. And when I say I put her hair up, like, mid-Brazilian.
Yeah, no, literally. Like,
behind
she'd be
her.
concerned for my health. Like, are you okay?
Yep.
We'll insert some pictures of my feet. I have a picture of my foot.
Yes. Oh my
swollen
God.
After a shift one
I can't.
day.
Yeah, you have to send me that.
Yeah,
I'll
I
put
will.
it in.
And Sarah was like, "Oh my gosh, that's
Please get
they're,
off
they're like
this.
purple."
It's terrifying.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really, really, really mentally and physically challenging. Every day I had to be like, okay, I can't cancel my appointments. Like, there was like one time, it was probably like 3 days in a row, where I was really, really, really sick. And I was like, I just can't do it. Like, I literally cannot do it. And I felt like shit for so long after that, because I was just like, God, like,
and you shouldn't have.
I know. And I wish I could go back now and be like, just lay down. Like, literally just lay down. I was just trying to do too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was hard because I was really sick, and then I got really large.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard because I'm sure most of you in this industry know, but you don't get like paid maternity leave or anything. No. So you're like, you probably felt like I need to work until the very end.
I saved everything that I had as soon as I became pregnant. I just saved
that was probably
everything.
pressure on you too, because every day you're not working. Then like it's not like you're getting these benefits when you leave. So
no, it was so hard. I was like,
frightening.
I was very relieved when you started working though, because I really did need the help.
I feel like it was good too, like just for you not to be alone.
Yeah.
Like and feel validated and just have
there were
someone
times,
there. Like,
there were times where I would get nervous being alone, because I'm like, if anything happened,
no one would know.
I wouldn't. Yeah, no one would know. Like if I fell or something, I don't know, like something.
Yeah. Okay. So the second part of the question: what's different about you as a service provider before being pregnant versus now after being pregnant?
Like literally everything. Like everything. I feel like before, as a service provider, like, I guess not everything, but my just life experience, like literally, I have like more to talk about. I have so much more. I feel like I matured. Not that I was immature before, but like I feel like
a new level of maturity.
It's a new level of like life just hit. I have gone through so many life experiences.
Hit you like a brick.
It hit me like a brick. Yeah. So I got to like, and it was really, I loved this about work, because a lot of people would open up to me because I would open up to them. So I would be like, I miscarried, and they would be like, me too.
Yeah.
And I would be like, oh my God, like, let's talk about it. So that was really cool. I got to like be on a different level with all of my clients, and I was just so real with everyone, and I would just be like, I'm so sick today and I don't feel good today, and I was just and now I can just be more real with clients.
That's what I was just gonna say. I feel like I mean, even before, I would be impressed, like, you did not take any shit.
Yeah.
But even now, I'm like,
I don't.
You stand up for yourself. Like, you're so confident. You don't take shit from anybody.
Yeah.
Like, even we joke around, like, her best friends will come in. They don't get no discount.
No discount.
I'm like, I feel so bad. I'm like, I have to give my sister a discount.
I'm like, not me.
She doesn't even want to pay me at all. Like, I feel so bad. And you're like, no, they can pay full price. So like, I feel like you just always, like, I don't know, you're just so confident and
thank you.
You have your shit figured out.
Thanks.
And you don't care what anyone thinks about.
Stop being nice to me.
Okay. Next question. Sorry, I have to keep typing in her password because my Face ID isn't programmed
I gotta
into
get
here.
you in
We gotta
there.
add my face. Okay. Did you ever have any weird cravings or food aversions?
Yeah. So still to this day, I can't eat certain things that I used to love before I was pregnant. So
Okay.
before I was pregnant, my favorite food ever was avocado. I could eat it on everything, toast, like everything. I cannot eat avocado anymore.
Really?
I don't know what
I'm
it
like,
is.
I've seen you eat guac.
I like sometimes,
Yeah,
but like
in
even
certain
then,
forms,
yeah. Like
yeah.
at Chipotle, I don't even order
Well,
it anymore.
avocado's a hard one. I feel like that's a tricky one to
know.
like even on a normal
I
basis.
know, but I used
so
to eat that shit up
all the time.
You know what else was really weird when I was pregnant? Like sushi or Chinese food or hibachi, anything of the sort of like rice or noodles.
Right.
It tasted like straight up peanuts to me.
Really?
Peanuts. I couldn't eat it. I was like, this is disgusting.
And you're allergic.
Yeah, right. I'm like,
You're low-key allergic.
Yeah, I just didn't. I didn't, and I still kind of don't
I was
eat it
gonna
now.
say, I thought you do like that.
I
thought
do.
That would be
I
a
love.
craving for you.
I thought so too, and I was like, "This is a good. It'll
so
keep me
funny.
full." No, it was so gross.
Well, something. I mean, you ate buffalo tenders a lot.
But that's just me in general.
Okay, so that was not a pregnancy.
I don't think it was a
thing.
pregnancy thing. I think that was just me in
Okay.
general. Cereal. I ate cereal up when I was pregnant.
Okay.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner. I would fuck
That's a
up some
good
cereal. And cheeseburgers. Wendy's. I would
interesting.
eat up Wendy's. I don't know what it was about a cheeseburger either,
Yeah.
but I loved for my birthday when I was very pregnant. So I was my birthday's in April. Griffin was born in May.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "What do you want to eat?" And I was like, Five Guys. And I
Oof,
want it
that's a good
delivered to the
one.
home. I want
I'm
a
not
plethora.
leaving.
I'm not leaving.
I'm in my bed.
Yep.
Get me a
And
tray.
that's what I did for my birthday when I was pregnant. I had
I
like
love
a
that.
Five Guys cheeseburger, and I was like, "That's all I want."
So
Yeah,
real.
it's
so
good. I love it.
Do you have any like weird like you know how people do like weird things like
I do something weird.
pickles and peanut butter?
But this is like something that I've always done, and I don't even think it's that weird.
Like, I'll
but
just
Aunt's
reveal
always-
myself. You know?
Aunt's always like, "That's fucking weird." But I will do like Doritos and cream cheese.
That's not weird.
Or like hot Cheetos and cream
That's
cheese.
not weird at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I've never done it.
Yeah,
but I
it
don't
just
think it's
seems like it
weird.
would go, right? Yeah.
That's like me with my pretzels and ginger
Yeah.
ale.
Yeah.
Has to be together.
Has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah, so that's what I would do. And then random, I would just put random. Like I would just be like, I want like, oh my God, you know what? One day I like scouted stores for a push pop.
Not.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
The like, no, the bottle pops.
Oh,
What's
baby
it called?
bottle
Baby
pops?
bottle pops. And I fucked up a baby
childhood
bottle pop.
was coming
yeah.
out.
I was like,
You're like, let me
I woke
feel
up
like
that
a
day. I
kid
said,
again real quick.
I need a baby bottle pop.
That's
and Anne
so
was like,
funny.
hello?
I can't
Do
wait
they
to
even
see.
make them anymore? I literally Googled
Literally,
it.
do
I'm
they?
like, do they exist?
Yeah.
They did, and I ate one.
That's so funny.
I know.
I can't wait to see what mine are. I feel
I
like
know.
I'm gonna be weird.
Probably.
Like
Probably.
concoctions
Probably.
of things. But
Yeah.
we'll see. Okay. What did you think was going to be the scariest thing about birth versus what actually was the scariest thing about like actually giving birth?
It was the same thing for me. It turned out to be the
Okay.
exact same thing that I was
Okay.
worried about, and it was the stitches.
Okay.
I was so worried about the stitches over everything, and I don't know where that came from because
Yeah.
I've never maybe it's because I never gotten stitches before,
I haven't either. I'm scared for that too.
and that worried me. I was
Yeah.
a little bit nervous for the epidural, but not really. I just didn't. I couldn't really think about what was actually happening before
Right.
the stitches. I couldn't like get it out of my head. Like that was the only thing I was scared of, and I hated every second of it.
traumatized you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it happening and me being like, oh my God, in my head, I thought this was going to be like 2 seconds. It was like a
Right.
half hour of stitching. And I remember and I could feel, like I couldn't feel it, but I could feel like
yeah,
tugging.
you can feel something.
Yeah. And I
going on.
remember just looking at my mom and just being like,
Ugh.
I hate this.
Yeah.
And she was like, I know.
And I know it's probably different for everyone, but when she told me that, I was like, when she told me about your whole birth in general, I
Yeah.
was like, oh, new fears unlocked.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
Yeah.
But actually, I cried when I watched her
I know,
birth
I
video.
cried
I
when I
was
watched
like,
it.
I was like, it's honestly like, it's so gross, but it's
so
so
gross.
beautiful at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah. I
Like,
had a
it's
very
crazy.
like normal
Yes.
delivery. I didn't have any
Yes.
complications. Like compared to what people go through, I think mine was pretty smooth. But still, I mean, it was
It's so
a
scary.
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
The
a lot on
stitches
your
were
body.
definitely, and the healing. Even the healing, my least
Yep.
favorite part about healing was the
Yep.
stitches. I hated that.
I would say that's the number one thing I'm scared is like more postpartum.
Yeah, postpartum was
Yeah, I'm scared for that.
crazy.
Okay. How did you pick your baby's name? Do you want to say his name?
Griffin.
I think we already did, but
yeah, his name
Griffey.
is Griffin. And I found it on TikTok. This was before I knew that he was a boy. I was having like girl names and boy names. And I follow a couple on TikTok. I don't know if you know them. Matt and I forget what the girl's name is. They're like a couple TikTok. And
I don't follow any family TikToks.
They didn't start out to be a family TikTok.
Okay.
They were like fitness people.
Okay.
And then they got pregnant. I think a whole year, like gave birth a whole year before I got pregnant.
Okay.
So, and their baby's name was Griffin. And I was like, wow, that's so cute. And like, I just put it on my list. And then.
Are you not a Family Guy fan? I immediately couldn't name my kid.
I know. I'm not. And it had no, like, but obviously
That's
I know
good,
that's a
though.
character.
That's good.
But I still don't even think about it ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I would ask Aunt, obviously.
I was gonna say, did he like the name?
He did. He liked Griffin, but he also like had a lot of like names that he wanted to be, and obviously
He's like, Kyle.
No, literally. And he wanted to be Anthony.
He's like, what about Chad though?
He's like, listen to this, Kyle. I'm like, no.
He's like, this one's different. Listen. Anthony's cute though.
He wanted Anthony, and I wasn't opposed to it, but like and like to each their own. Like I said, motherhood is different for everyone, but personally, I wanted to pick my own baby's name. Like, I don't see the point of it having to be his name. Like,
oh my God, I didn't even put together that's his name.
I was like,
Anthony's
so cute.
nice. I was like, that's like a little nice Italian name. I've literally forgot Aunt's name is Anthony.
Yeah.
I feel like you're so far away.
I know.
Also.
Like,
come closer. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So yeah, that was a little
Anthony.
bit.
I feel like I wouldn't want a junior though.
I didn't want a junior, and I was like,
with the juniors.
I need him to have his own personality.
Yeah.
Like to me, I don't understand that. It's giving like a
My mom is a junior.
That's
I don't
so
even
funny.
know if that's a
but
thing.
my ex-boyfriend's mom is a junior. Like they were both named the same names, and it's giving like a possession thing that like I don't really understand.
Yeah.
I get like family names and stuff, but I was just not down, and I just didn't. I'm like, I want my own name. I want the experience to pick my baby's own name. Like I didn't sign a document back in the day, 3 Anthonys ago, that I would
we're
keep
gonna
this
keep
up.
the line going.
Like I did not do this. So, and he was like, Aunt was definitely upset, but he was like, I understand, and. I think his family was a little. I think his dad more than anyone was like, "Oh, that sucks."
Yeah.
Because Aunt was a junior, so he would have been a third.
Yeah.
So I get that, but no one gave me shit for it. They were all like, "We get it."
Could happen.
I know, and that's what everyone said to me. They were like, "Well, maybe the second one." I'm like, "No."
You're like, no.
But Griffin's middle name is Anthony, so it's Griffin Anthony.
Okay.
And then he has his last name. Me and Aunt aren't even married yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, "You have Griffin Anthony Tomasco."
He has plenty.
Yeah. I'm like, why do you need every name that he owns?
Plenty.
Yeah. I'm like, no.
We're
but
good.
if I did name him after Aunt, because Aunt is Anthony Joseph, and that would have had it would have been Anthony Joseph Tomasco. Griffin would have just went by AJ, like fully AJ, which I love. So like, if Aunt was like, that would break my heart if my son's name wasn't Anthony. I would be like, fine, like we'll do AJ, but he wasn't.
But it
He was like, it's fine. Yeah, but we would just randomly say them out loud, like. Oh, this could be for so-and-so's room. And the only thing that stuck was Griffin. Like, I just couldn't stop saying Griffin.
Did you feel different? Like, you know how some people say, like, once you see him, like, they're like, oh, Griffin's not fitting.
I don't feel that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that. I think maybe because it was Griffin for me for so long.
Right.
That it was just Griffin.
Like, this is it.
Yeah. Like, I didn't really, but yeah, I would just randomly say Griffin, and then everyone just started saying Griffin. I was like, wait, is his name Griffin? Like, what's going on
I'm not
here?
even sure
Yeah,
yet.
I'm not sure. And then it just was Griffin. I still to this day love that name.
I do.
Like, I just think it's so not common, but not crazy. Like, I don't hear a lot of Griffins at all.
Like Malibu Barbie.
Exactly.
All respect to Trisha.
I love you, Trisha, but
we love you. Okay, so what was the best thing and the worst thing that happened during the first week after giving birth?
Okay. So the worst thing for me probably was like my wound, my recovery
like
wound.
healing.
Yeah. God, there's so many bad things.
That's okay. Let's say good.
Okay, what was the good thing? The good thing for me, like a memory that I will always remember, that is engraved in my mind. I think about it every single day almost, is being in the hospital. So I was in the hospital for like 2 days, I think. Don't even really remember. Yeah, it was really cute to see like people come visit us. I didn't have a lot of visitors, but I did have some, and that was really cute. But my favorite memory of the first week was coming home in the car and it just being crazy because I had like an awful night the night before. Like Griffin wasn't like he wasn't eating, he wasn't sleeping. My mom was going to work like the day that I was coming home from the hospital, and I was like, why is she going to work? So then she came in. I'm like, hello? What am I going to do when I get home?
Yeah,
like I just have a baby and you're at work?
Yeah.
So she came to visit me before work at the hospital, and she could just tell that I was not unwell.
Yeah.
So she was like, called her, and she was like, I won't be in today. So then she helped me get Griffin, thank God, helped me get Griffin packed up and ready to go, because that was a lot.
Yeah.
I remember right before I was about to be discharged, they were like, you look really, really pale. Like, are you okay? And I was like, I think I'm okay. I don't know. And they like made me get back in my bed, and I was like, they're not gonna let me leave.
Yeah.
But they did. I don't know. They like gave me some
They said,
like
never
liquids.
mind, we need the bed.
They're like, we got another one coming.
Got another fresh body coming in.
So yeah, but no. So then I got in the car, me, Aunt, and Griffin, and that was wild. But coming home, my mom had like the stork in my lawn.
To drive.
Oh, I was so scared. I was in the back seat,
Didn't
and I had my
drive,
donut.
well,
Yeah.
obviously.
I couldn't sit because I had stitches,
Yeah.
so I was sitting on like a donut in the middle of his seat, and Griffin was in his car seat, and he was just so little. And I was like, oh my God. I just remember driving home being like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
But then I pulled up home, and my mom had a stork in the front lawn that said like Griffin.
I never see those anymore.
And
It's so
I
cute.
don't know what happened to my body, but I like lost it, and I was just sobbing. And I think it was just the realization that like, oh my God, yeah, like I did that. Like it's like another journey is beginning, but that journey has just ended, and like I just gave birth.
Yeah.
And like I'm home
Crazy.
now. Like everything that I prepared for the last 9 months, like I just did.
Yeah.
I conquered it. He's here.
Right.
And now I'm home. And
Yeah.
like I just remember that would be something I will never forget. Like that was probably my favorite part of like the first week of just coming home and being like,
You're like, I did it.
yeah, and I just remember sobbing, like, and my mom was like, oh, what are we crying? Like, everyone was, like, hugging me, but, like, my mom was like, what are we crying about? And she was like, are you just overwhelmed? And I was like, I'm just overwhelmed. Yeah. And then the worst part was, there's two bad things. Griffin wouldn't stop crying for the first, like, 3 months of his life, and that made me, like, literally go insane.
Crazy. Yeah.
And the second thing was recovering, like, peeing was just a whole debacle, and that was just really hard and scary, and I hated that, and I would cry every day.
I'm scared for that too.
Yeah.
A lot, and I feel like nobody talks about
No.
that part either.
No.
Like,
And I'm like,
it's
am I just a little bitch, or is my badussi sewed from the asshole up? Like, I mean, why isn't this talked about more?
No, it's crazy that like I, as a woman, don't know what's gonna happen after birth. Like I know there's stitches, I know, like, but I never knew the extent of it until my friend Ashley gave birth, and like she would tell us everything.
And you're like,
and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like
it's
that
so
is
bad.
crazy.
It's so
we
humbling.
should be paid for a year off. Like I would not, like I don't know how you like get up and you're just supposed to function and act like you're okay.
And like that's what I mean about people. Like everyone has the greatest of intentions, and like especially people who aren't moms yet, like everyone has a good
'cause they
heart,
don't
but like
know.
you just don't get it. And like people just expect you to bounce back. Like even after my miscarriage, like people would always be like, well, it wasn't that long. Like you were only a few weeks, right? Like it wasn't like you didn't have to get anything removed, right? Like you're fine. Like
still fucking
it's just
traumatizing.
yeah, it's just like people love to discredit like well,
take
and like
away
maybe
your
it's them trying to make you
experience.
feel better. I don't know, but like give me credit where credit's due. Like I had a miscarriage, and that was traumatizing
it's
to
almost
this day.
like just make the conversation uncomfortable and be
because
in
it's
detail and
because
talk
it
about
is
it.
uncomfortable,
Yes.
and that's why
It's
no one
supposed
can
to be
talk about it.
uncomfortable,
Yeah,
so just talk about it like a normal
like
person,
a normal adult,
and
because
we don't have to tiptoe around
not that I would
it.
want it to happen to anyone else, but it could happen to someone
To
else.
anybody,
So like
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just wild how many things. My rational fear. Here we go.
Feel?
We both. we both. I can't. At the mid to end of podcast, we both start lisping out of nowhere. Anyway, my irrational fear that I have. So when I was younger, I used to hate the feeling that you would get of like growing pains in your legs, and like I hate that feeling. It makes me like shiver. Yeah, like I hate it, and I know people say like you kind of feel that way with your stomach, and I'm that's what I.
It wasn't so much like a growing pain where it was like you can feel your like bones and your muscles. It was more of like a skin stretch.
Okay.
So I don't know how that makes you feel, if that makes you feel any better, but it was like tingling, like.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Okay. I hated what you just did on my leg, so it's fine. It's fine. Let's move on. Okay, so between you and Aunt, who do you think is going to be a good cop and who's going to be bad cop when parenting?
That's a tricky one.
I feel like it could go either way.
I feel like it could too.
I'll be so I was thinking about this on my own. I was like thinking about, I'm like, I know the answers. Let me know what I know. I think you're going to be good cop and Aunt is going to be bad cop.
I think so too.
I just think you're so chill. And like, not that Aunt's not chill, but like, I can just see you being like, I just feel like also like moms with their first sons too is different. Yeah. Like not in a weird way, but like, I don't know. Like you're just so chill. I can see you being
same. It's fine. He's fine. I do feel that, but I think that Aunt might be like on different levels. Like I get annoyed about things that like he's like, why does that annoy you? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, make sure. I don't know. It's so weird because something that I'm really proud of myself for doing as a mom and as like a partner to Aunt is like I've allowed him to completely have control of situations. Like I went into it being like, I don't want to control how Aunt does things and how Aunt treats Griffin. Like I want him to figure it out. Like I want him to figure out why he's crying. I want him to figure out how to soothe him. I want him to figure out
I love that.
What Griffin likes, what Griffin doesn't like. So like me and Aunt have always been equal. When people ask me like who's the primary parent, I genuinely, me and Aunt are so equal because like
and you can see that from an outside perspective
good
too.
Because I always wanted that. Like I did not want to control Aunt's relationship with Griffin. Like and it's so obvious that they have such their own bond and like I just know that a lot of moms, it's so valid because you go through so much and you're just like, oh my God, to be like, do it like this and no, don't do that. And I just feel like it makes your partner so anxious to do anything because he's like, oh my God, I don't do anything right. Like where I was just kind of like, do whatever. And he did. So like, I don't know who would be good. I think it would be different in different circumstances.
I was just gonna say that.
I'm going to get more, I think he's going to be more laid back about like Griffin dating and like Griffin like I'm gonna be like
that one right there.
I hate that. So I think it's just gonna be different because me and Aunt are very
So I feel like nowadays like you'll be like a little bit of both. Like I honestly, I mean, I know for sure I'm gonna be bad cop just because Todd never gives a fuck about anything. Like he could be fucking shit on me and be like, that's funny. Like I'm like, all right.
And you're gonna be like annoyed. There are times where like I'm just like, all right, wrap it up. Because like Aunt's just like doing too much and I'm like, all right. But like I still think Griffin's too little. Like no one had to be yet.
Right, yeah.
So like I don't know yet. I just think it's gonna be different. Different things are gonna trigger us in different ways. Yeah. Which who knows? What it'll be.
I can't wait to find out. One thing that I heard about parenting before that I love, because it's kind of like that when you're like comparing your family to other families and stuff, which I will be doing this with my kid because I love it. Basically, like there will be a Santa Claus, there will be an Easter Bunny, but they're gonna be our family's Santa Claus and our family's Easter Bunny, or like they're gonna get gifts from Santa, but also they're gonna get gifts from mom and dad because I saw something that was like all these kids go to school and they're like, Santa got me this, and like there's kids that obviously like their families can't afford that and they're thinking like, well, why didn't Santa get me that? Like, and they're thinking it's Santa just excluding them. It's not like their parent. I'm like, how fucking sad is that? Like, so I know like I will be doing that in my family because it's so true. That's like so true. That's the first thing you do when you go to school. You're like, I got this. Yeah. Like, and then there's kids who like literally are like, struggling and they're not getting anything. And they're like, why is Santa not like me? Like, why didn't he come to my?
I love that.
So sad.
I know. I hate
but it's
that.
like I know. I hate it too. And I'm like,
it makes me sad. I'm so sad. I mean, people, and it's just like the most annoying things that people say that they don't even know they're being annoying. But like as a mom, everything's annoying. Like, oh, he needs a haircut, or he needs this. Oh, you got your just little shit like that. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm procrastinating his haircut. I'm in denial that he's fucking 10 months old. Also, yes, his hair's down to here. Get over it.
It's really not that long.
I know. I'm like,
bad.
to the side.
Like,
Come on.
Let him have a Justin
That's what
Bieber
I'm
moment.
saying. I'm like, leaving Surfer Boy, leave him be.
Like, maybe I like this. Yeah, everybody has their
Everyone has their
opinions about
input.
everything.
Like, oh, when are you getting his haircut? Are you doing this? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. Oh, he doesn't wear shoes yet? I'm like, no, he doesn't wear shoes yet. He's fucking 10 months old. Sorry, I didn't put shoes on out the fucking womb. I don't need little fucking
literally, it's
foam
like,
Adidas on
you don't
his...
put shoes, literally.
Like, come on.
He doesn't have Yeezys
Literally.
yet.
Dude, people hate that I don't wear shoes. I actually just bought him his first pair of shoes because I didn't want to put him in the gym daycare anymore without shoes because he walks now.
Yeah.
So I would just put socks on him before because he was always just being held.
Right.
But now he walks around, so I was like, fuck, he hated it. He hated it. I don't know. I'm just like...
There's no point. They're growing constantly.
Growing.
Like, I know what I'm doing.
I'm like, I know.
I've
worry
done my
about your
TikTok
own
told me
son's-
so. I know what I'm doing.
I'm like, I know what I'm doing for my son's bone structure.
Yeah,
please leave me alone.
My son's gonna have a normal.
I'm like,
foot.
he's gonna have a good
I'll be like,
fucking
show me your
pinky
son's
toe.
foot right now. Let's go foot for foot.
I'm like, little babies with Vans on. I'm like,
I know.
no judgment.
That would be
no
me.
judgment, but
Low-key, my baby's gonna have Jordan 1s.
I mean, like,
They're
they're
gonna
cute,
have
but like for hours
Nike,
at a time,
they're
I'm
gonna
like,
have dunks
guys.
on. No, not all the time, but they will. I can't lie.
Well, once Griffin turns,
my
mean,
baby's
like,
gonna be a
now,
sneakerhead.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When
I'm
they're
excited to
walking,
get him like little high top
yeah,
pants.
when
and
they're
stuff.
walking,
yeah.
it's different.
He
They don't.
just
I
started
really
walking.
don't feel as though it's necessary.
It's just an
before.
extra thing that I have to do.
Yeah.
Like, my life's already hard getting him dressed in general. Now I have to add a shoe.
We don't need the shoes.
No.
Let's take them away.
We don't need a shoe.
All right. This is the last question.
Okay.
So, what is the best piece of advice you could give to new moms or anyone thinking about having a baby?
For anyone thinking about having a baby, my piece of advice to you, I would personally say do it for yourself. Like, don't let people know. Like, do it for yourself. If you want to tell your certain friends and family, that's fine. But like, I just feel like in the beginning, it's so sacred to be like between you and your person. And like, it ruins, like, it doesn't, for me, everything that I say is for me. But personally for me, I feel like as soon as I open the doors to like everyone knowing, it just like kind of killed a little bit of it where it was just me and ants for like a second of time. I think that my advice would be like, soak that up as much as you can, even though it's so exciting and you want to tell everyone. Like, I just wish I could be in that moment where it was just me and Ant, like for one more second of time.
Yeah, it's special.
Yeah, it's
like
so special.
Your first pregnancy is like a moment you'll never get. Like, that's such a like
it's so crazy.
once in a lifetime thing to experience together. That, and it's like literally is you half of you and half of your person. Like, it's so special between the two. Like, I agree with that.
Obviously, hopefully everyone has a partner that they know is going to be a good partner, and you can just see it on their faces. Like, the way that Ant has looked at me differently from the moment I got pregnant the first time. Like, he just looks at me with a different appreciation and a different level of respect that like he obviously always appreciated and respected me before, but this is different. He's like, oh my God. Like, I can just tell. Like, he tells me all the time too, but I can just tell from like the way that he treats me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, definitely just cherish those beginning moments. Soak it all in because it goes by so quick. And I used to hate when people say that to me, but it really does.
It did go by so fast.
Surround yourself with people who are good people. And like, unfortunately, sometimes you'll learn that after the fact. For me, I had a great experience. My friends, I am literally so proud of my friends and like how they've handled me being pregnant, miscarrying, being pregnant, all the things. Like, I am literally... Another piece of advice would be like when people tell you that, like when people can't relate to you and they make that a reason why they can't be around you or that you're not fitting into their lives, like that is bullshit because I am in a completely different realm than any of my friends.
Different.
Like, and
different.
we can all get together and be together as the same people that we always were. Like, I'm just so proud of my friends for being there for me with not knowing anything. That like, you know, they're just like, this is my first time ever dealing with this. I mean, one of my best friends lives in Florida and she has shown up for me in Griffin like incredibly. And she's in a different state. Like, Sam is living her best life, living her best single like life, and she still makes time for me. Like Katie watches Griffin every single Friday morning from the time that Griffin was 4 months old. Like that just blows my mind how these people are not, they don't have to be there for me and Griffin like that, and they are. And like once you find people like that, it just makes your life so much easier. So just surround yourself with good people. Just
I feel like
don't listen to everyone's advice. Don't listen to everyone's birth story. Just take it all in.
that was scary for me to watch happen to you.
I know.
So I was just like,
I know.
because I feel like genuinely people did not understand. Like, because I would sit there and be like, did you really just say that? Or like, do you know what's coming out of your mouth right now? Like, I think they genuinely
For you to like sit there and watch that,
oblivious to how it's coming out, and I would be like,
and I would just have to
I'd
keep
be like,
going.
ooh, how's she gonna answer this one? Like, and you would always be so like
oh
I
my
have,
God.
and it would be hard for me not to laugh sometimes too, because it would be like something so crazy. And you like, and I knew like you did not feel that way, or you had like a totally opposite opinion, and you'd just be like, yeah, I love that. Like I can't wait to do that. And I'm like,
People would ask me like brands, like what brand car seat are you getting?
Oh my God,
They're
because
like,
it matters, one that buckles.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, like, but then there's like a different side of like moms who are just like they get it, like they're there for you. I think it's obviously changed me as a person in every way, shape, and form, but like mainly it's given me like so much peace in my life, because like I don't care about anything other than Griffin. Like, I don't care. Like, you want to be mad at me for something? Like, I have my son.
Matter.
Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean?
That's a new
like,
level of peace.
It's a new level of
really
peace.
nice.
It really is.
So nice.
It is. And it's like, my only concern is if this boy is happy, fed, and safe, and warm, and like, that is all. More like at peace, like with myself and like with other people, that I'm like, not everything is personal. Like, I don't have to take anyone's actions personal to me.
Yes.
Like, I don't know why I learned that from having a baby, but like it has gotten me and Ant through some like tough times, because I can like look at him as a person and be
as
like
a human.
Yeah, and not be like, he did that and he lied to me on this and he did that. Like, it was just like, all right, like, why did he, like, do you know what I mean? Like, why are we here? And like, we got over. Exactly. Dude, Ant does a lot. Like, it's to the point where I can just leave Griffin. I mean, I flew to Courtney in Florida for 2 days.
I mean,
2
that
nights.
in itself, that you can feel 1,000% fine. Like, individually, you both know you can, like, you're fine. You can parent.
Dude, I am so grateful for Ant. He is like, since the moment, I mean, we've gone through some shit. Like, I knew that he was gonna like be great in the hospital. When I was in the hospital, I didn't change one diaper. I didn't change one diaper in the hospital. Like, Ant was on top of everything. I just laid there.
And that's how it should be.
Period. He slays. He does slay as a dad. I'm so at peace. I don't need to prove myself to anyone. Everyone knows my first priority is Griffin. I still think I'm a hard worker outside of Griffin. I try as much as I can be. Sometimes I'm not going to be able to show up. I have a hard time with that because I feel guilty for that. Working on it. Griffin is my number one priority. If Ant isn't off and I can't, like, if Ant can't get off, I have to be off. If I can't get off, Ant has to be off. Like, we're going to be disappointing people in the process, but like, as long as Griffin is happy, that is literally all I care about. Like, just keep it period. Simple. I do want to be pregnant. I mean, give me your tips. Everyone, all the moms out there, like, when do you think? Because I'm ready. I mean, I'm not ready. Like, I have certain things that I need
but
to
you
get
want
done.
them to be like,
but I do want them to be close, and
yeah.
he's already a year, so like, I gotta get on it soon. So what do you guys think? I hear 2.5. When Griffin is 2.5, it's a good time to have a newborn.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. So
I feel like that would give you some time.
Yeah. I mean, what, Ashley has like 75 kids? I'm like, what does she think?
My friend Ashley had at one point 3 kids under.
It's crazy.
3 under 3, I think, at one point.
Women are so strong.
Maybe not, but I don't know. Something like that. Something close to that. And she had 2 babies in 1 year because she had her one baby. They're like Irish twins. She had her one baby in February. And then her third baby was born on New Year's Eve. So it was technically like the same year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like really close.
Yeah, and she slays.
Yeah, slays. I don't know how she does it. It's like literally nothing for her. She's so good at it.
Like, please.
We've always said though, like she's gonna be a mom, like 1,000%. Like we were like, you're gonna be the first to get pregnant.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the mom. Like she just was like born to be a mom. And she's so fucking good at it. Like, it is
her.
amazing to watch as a friend.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
I
so
hope that's
happy
how
I
my
have her
friends
to
feel about
refer
me.
to.
I know.
I'm gonna be calling her I mean, I have so many good people I can refer to now.
Yeah.
But, like, she is incredible. And to
Yeah.
be, like, so young, like, because what age? It was during COVID. So we were, like, 21.
When she got pregnant the first time?
Like, that's so young.
Damn.
Yeah, 21 or 20.
Not like, yes, she's young, but like that wasn't even
Yeah.
that long ago. Now
I
she
think
has
21.
like 3, right?
Sorry, Ashley, if
Ashley's like, do you know anything about me?
I swear, you're my best friend. I love you. I'm just really bad with numbers.
No,
and
same.
math.
Me too. When you asked me when I
Yeah.
got pregnant, what age I was, I was like,
we're still thinking about it.
I have nothing going on in my brain. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, but no, like, to be so young and have, well, now she's 25,
Yeah.
and to have 3 fucking kids,
That's crazy.
like, she is doing the damn
Slay.
thing, and it's like she just knew what to do.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I
Just
know,
came
that's the
natural
thing
to her.
about it. It does. Like, you just know what to do. And like, he just.
I say that about
Dude,
my mom all the
Griffin's
time.
at the point where like he's like hugging me.
Stop it.
And
I'll cry
he's
right
like,
now.
oh my God, it's so fucking cute. Like, my
cry
heart,
right
I'm
now.
like, dude, like, I never knew that I could love something like this before in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the number one thing I hear.
Yeah.
Is like, you never think you can have like this bond.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know. Me and my cat's bonds are pretty special.
No,
I don't know.
literally, though. I just remember being the only thing that I could get out of my mouth was my baby. Like, I just kept saying, my baby, my baby,
That's what
my
made me
baby.
cry. What made me cry was that, and then Aunt, when he was like comforting you during
I
it.
know.
Oh my
I'll literally
gosh.
cry right now. I just kept saying like my baby, like you are my literal baby.
This
I
is
just
mine.
grew you
Yeah, I
out of
grew
my
you.
fucking
I cooked
stomach.
you. Yeah.
And then I pushed you out, and now here you are.
It's so crazy.
It's so fucking crazy. I think about it like every time I put him down for sleep, or like he's sleeping and I'm looking at him and I'm just like, dude,
are
you're
you
literally
real?
fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Like you are literally my baby.
is.
I
So
love
cute.
him. Yeah. Well, that's my
Thanks
journey.
for sharing
Of
your
course.
stories.
Thanks for listening
and being
to me.
so open.
Yeah.
Of course, I love hearing it.
I know. I love talking about it. So please, any questions? We can do a
Yeah.
part 2.
Yeah,
We can have
let us
Griffin on
know.
the pod.
We can have Griffin. Yeah, start talking soon.
He's taking the lights down. He's like in that phase where
His first word can be canceled. We'll teach him.
he's like Tana Mojo.
All right. Thanks for listening and watching. As always.
Yeah, we love you.
Love you guys. Bye. Oh, we did cheers.
She almost left me hanging.
Sorry.